Today's video is pretty much gonna be about what you need for your first day. I wasn't really well prepared. I came out of trade school. I did a fast-paced trade school. It was 2 months. Usually it's like a year, 2 years, whatever it is. I was very fortunate to have a very caring boss, and he pretty much bought me some stuff for my first day. My dad also helped, growing up, he used to do a lot of like stuff around the house, so he had a lot of basic tools that I needed. I started working. I've been doing HVAC for like 3-4 months now. So now I have some money to buy some tools, and I went ahead to the parts store and did that, So I do have some old stuff, but I want some newer stuff just cause it's like, these are my toys and I'm gonna be using them like day to day. So I wanna show y'all a little bit on what you will need for your first day. So for me, I was really fortunate to have a boss. He went ahead and bought these digital gauges for me. These are like the coolest thing in the world, man. This is probably like any man's dream in HVAC, owning one of these. So this has been really, really helpful for me. Still got some refrigerant in there. These are probably one of the most expensive tools that, you'll have. You don't have to get the digital ones. I like them. I mean, they're helpful. You have subcool, superheat, suction line temperature, liquid line temperature. Everything's digital, And for vacuuming, shows the microns and what you brought it down to, everything. And I've never personally learned off of the old-fashioned ones. Even in trade school, we had these. So, coming out of trade school, it was really easy for me to use because I learned about it. So definitely the manifold gauges. These are gonna be really, really important for you. So this is your best friend. You need a pair of these on your first day. That's a must. Number 2 on that list, you need to own a drill. And then for sure, you need a 1/4 inch and a 5/16. They sell this bit. I did have a nut driver. This is my old one. Pop it off. And then I have a longer extension for it. Pop it right back in. Today I went ahead and bought me a Milwaukee. You're gonna need a nut driver for sure. This is definitely gonna be useful, and it has different sizes as so. You're not gonna be able to put your drill in there, or for whatever reason your drill battery dies, which shouldn't, you need to be prepared. Your boss is gonna look over that, like, is this guy prepared? Is he, is he responsible? But case for whatever reason, you can't fit your drill or your battery dies, go ahead and get you a manual one pretty much. So you need this. I got this just to get a little fancy with it. This is the one. You'll be using a 1/4 inch and a 5/16 most of the time, but it has everything. So that will always be helpful. And pretty much every trade is gonna need this. You're gonna need your screwdriver and you're gonna need your Phillips. So definitely have those 2. Crescent wrenches. This you will absolutely need. You never know when you're gonna be at the condenser and you're just trying to open it up and you can't open it up with your fingers. Perfect. You're gonna for sure need some copper cutters. You can get these at Home Depot, Harbor Freight, Lowe's. Super, super helpful. You're gonna be working a lot of PVC. They'll probably have you start on PVC before any wiring, before anything. So go ahead and get you these. Some snips or some dikes. These are a little rusted. Need to get me some new ones, but definitely gonna need these. And then you need to get a duck knife for installs or cutting through stuff. Definitely gonna need that. So go ahead and get you a duck knife. Can't believe I haven't mentioned this. This should have been one of the first ones, but you're definitely gonna need a needle nose. Every situation, let's say you're changing the capacitor, pulling off the wires, discharging the capacitor. This is a must, 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 must. You're gonna need a service wrench. This you may not need on your first day, but you are definitely gonna need this as a technician. So go ahead and get yourself a service wrench. This is the zip tie. I forgot what the exact name of this tool is, but this is a zip tie. You'll stick the zip tie through in here, and then you'll kind of pull it, and it like grips it. It pretty much closes it, and then you use this to finally cut it off. So you are gonna need a, what are these even called? Thermometer? Yeah, thermometer. Checking temperatures, you're definitely gonna need one of these. A must is copper cutters. You're definitely gonna need some copper cutters. Absolute must. Let's say they got you doing a pull-in clean, for example. Every time you do a pull-in clean, you're gonna need to change the filter dryer. So let's say you're at the condenser. You put this on the copper and you start spinning it around, tightening it up, spinning it around. This will save your life. You need this, you need this, you need this. This is optional, I mean, but it would be very helpful. Let's say you're brazing, you need a mirror. So like, let's say you're brazing and you can't really like see while you're brazing. Let's say the copper is right here and you're like brazing up the top, you can see the top and the sides, but then you can't see the back side and you can't see underneath. This will be super easy, just kind of looking under there, brazing. Wire strippers. You're definitely gonna need some wire strippers. These are gonna come in handy all the time. You need these. You never know if, they're gonna have you cutting wires and stripping wires on your first day. So you're gonna need a pair of channel locks, 2 sizes. I got these Milwaukee ones when I first started. Very, 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 very helpful. You need this, without a doubt. This is my tool setup. This is how I have everything right now. I definitely want to get a Vito Pro Pack. And then I have my multimeter just hanging out right here. And then my drill, usually just put it in my pocket like that. Thermostat screwdriver is going to come in handy. You might not need it on your first day, but you'll definitely need this in your tool bag. Another big must is a headlamp. You cannot go into an attic without having one of these. This will save your life a million times. Having to hold your flashlight on your phone is not going to cut it. So get one that lasts a long, long time. This will be perfect. I got this, I think, for 30, 40 bucks. Home Depot, Husky. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You'll also need a Schrader valve remover. Sometimes whenever I'm taking my gauges off, I can hear the little sizzling sound like tss, and the refrigerant is escaping. That's because the Schrader valve has been loosened up because of the gauges. So you go ahead and stick that little bad boy in there and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So tighten it up and you'll be good to go. But this is definitely important. I got this when I first started. I went to a supply house and they gave this to me for free. And it's like a 2-in-1. It has the Schrader, and then it has the it's like a thermostat screwdriver. So perfect. You'll definitely need one of these. This is a gas wrench, and you'll definitely need this whenever you're doing installs or for whatever reason, like there's gas leaking. You need this right here. I went ahead and bought myself the 3-pack. I had the right one, but I kind of, it's time for me to get the bundle. So I went ahead and went to Home Depot, got the cheapest. For this, I'm not too crazy. Like, I don't need Milwaukee, Maybe later down the road when I make a lot more money, I'll get more branded stuff. But, I didn't feel the need to go ahead and buy this. So this is the straight cut, yellow, the right cut, the green, and the left cut, the red. So this will definitely be very, very useful when you're cutting some sheet metal or installs. Another thing is a split bit. These will definitely come handy when you're doing a disconnect box install. For example, let's say you're outside and the disconnect box is broken or it's all rusted up and it needs to be replaced. This is definitely, if you don't know what this is, this will help you a lot. Drilling a hole in the brick wall or different types of materials. So this will definitely help you out. I didn't have one personally. I was borrowing my dad's, and he had, I think, only one of them. But this, you got the 1/2 inch, 3/8, 5/16, 1/4 inch, all of these. So I get a little bit of everything. And it feels good to have your own tools, So then I went ahead and got myself the hex set. I got the standard and the metric. This will come in handy. Some service valves have the metric, some will have the standard. So you never know. These will be very, very helpful. You won't need this for your first day, but later down the road, you will need it. If you have the money to get it, go ahead and get it. My marker is all melted up. That's how hot it gets here in Texas. Left it out in the sun and it just melted it all up. But you will need a marker to mark things, measurements, whatever it is. Definitely need a marker. And I actually left my tape measure at one of the job sites, so I need to go to Home Depot today and go ahead and get myself a tape measure. That's really, really important, and that's really a basic of what you need for your tool bag. This is a striker. You press down on it, creates a little spark, starts the torches. Even if I got the standard and the metric, you will need a Allen wrench. It'll come in handy, you know. Let's say you want to just quickly do it, spin it around. This will come in handy for sure. Thermometer, this will come in handy. Everything here is going to come in handy, but this right here, perfect. Grab it whenever you need it. You don't need it for your first day. Another thing you'll need in your tool bag is some sandpaper. Whenever you do a cleaning or installation, you want to put it around the copper and spin it. If you don't know how to sand, it's pretty simple. You just spin it around, clean it up, and it will definitely help. Another cool thing to have in your tool bag are fuses. There's the 3 amp and the 5 amp fuses. You'll definitely need that in your tool bag. I got one more, need to go get some more, but this will be very, very handy for you. So you need this in your tool bag. Another essential that you need in your tool bag are wire nuts. When you're stripping wires or when you're putting 2 wires together, you will definitely need this. I prefer the orange ones. I think the orange ones are better, even though people say it's for, you know, multiple and bigger wires. And you can use this on 1 wire. I think these work better. Definitely get yourself some orange wire nuts. Then a couple extra things that you wouldn't, you know, mind having in your tool bag. Insulated tools. When you're working with electrical, you don't want to get shocked. These are perfect. I bought myself a set today. I went to Harbor Freight, got some cheap ones. Don't need no fancy brand. If you want, deck your whole tool bag out with, you know, fancy branded stuff, but I personally chose these. These will do good. This, I was tired of struggling in an attic trying to remove a blower when the screw is super hard to reach. Trying to put my drill in there, you know, it's not fitting. Then my hand is in the process of removing my drill, is getting cut. My skin gets cut. It's a big mess. So this bendable thing, I will be definitely using it. And I can't wait to use this bad boy. And this will be really, really helpful for those tight spaces. I also got myself a 90 adapter. This will definitely come in use for me, man. I can't stress this enough. I'm so happy I picked this up today. Another tight space use, and this will be perfect to my collection. Metal bender, this as an installer would be perfect. It will be really helpful. As a technician, you never know when you might need it. Let's say you're changing ductwork and cutting a hole in the plenum. Let's say you need to bend stuff together. This will be perfect. Another really handy and important thing is some electrical tape. You can never go wrong with this. Having this in your bag is like a must. You never know when you're gonna need it. And you can get this anywhere pretty much. Supply houses, Home Depot, Lowe's. This will be perfect. I do want to add a bonus. When you're learning as a new technician, you know, some people are visual learners, some people it's like reading it, people seeing it, some people's doing it. For me, it was personally seeing it. Like if I see how someone does it, I'm gonna learn that way. There's a lot to learn in this trade, and you're not gonna remember everything from day to day, you know? It's like repetition, that'll make it perfect. What I did, these are expensive, but I'm pretty sure TikTok Shop and Amazon has some cheaper ones and non-branded ones. I went ahead and bought myself some Ray-Ban Meta glasses. These bad boys will record up to 3 minutes. I think that's the only downside to them. But for example, let's say I'm in the field and these can connect to your phone. It has speakers built in right here, has a camera right here, and these will record. So whenever I was learning, these were my best friend, because even in trade school, for example, if I was studying for a test, I was recording what the instructor was telling me and I would just play it back. And it has visual, like it's literally seeing what you're seeing. And I can go back and I'm like, okay, this presentation or this slideshow had this, and that. And then the instructor is speaking while he's showing the slideshow. Or for example, when we were doing brazing, I'm like, okay, so this is how he was doing it. Electrical work, I'm like, okay, so R is 24 volts, C is common, Y is cool, W is heat, G is fan. Like this literally helped me through trade school. Amazing stuff. I remember I was pumping down a system and I forgot how to do it. Next time I brought my glasses and I recorded the entire thing. I'm like, okay, you know what? Now I know how to do it for the next time. So these are a really cool thing. You can have your phone, you can record with your phone. You don't need to have glasses, but you know, when you're out in the field and you're working, you don't want to hold your phone, you know, like this, and then you're like working with your other hand. These, all you do is press a little button up here and it starts recording. It's up to 3 minutes. You start working. This really helped me, so this was a really cool bonus tool. Another really important thing, I know a lot of you guys out there want to be like a man, and you know, not want to, like, you want to be tough and all that, but honestly, get some gloves, bro. You never know with refrigerant. Okay, you got to eventually, you know how to remove the hoses off the service valve. You got to do all that. But when it's your first day, get some gloves. You're gonna burn yourself. I mean, that's how you learn. I had a pretty bad burn on my hand. Kind of left my skin colorless right there. It's like a little pink. But I mean, I learned. I know, you know that you have to twist it fast. It's not a joke. Twist it. Also, whenever you're installing or, you know, you're cutting some sheet metal, man, that metal or those conduit straps, not conduit straps, the metal straps that go into the attic that hold the unit up, sometimes, like, let's say you're pulling something out, or for example, like, you know, you have to cut it off for a second, holding that thing, that will slice your hand open. If you have gloves, use protection. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Use protection. Don't be like, oh, I'm a strong guy, you know, I don't need no gloves and this or that. No, wear some gloves, man. Certain case scenarios, okay, I get it, don't wear gloves, but at some point you're gonna need it, you know what I mean? And you're gonna get a lot of cuts on your fingers, so you don't want stuff to get infected. Put a band-aid on it, put a glove over it. Use protection, man. My advice to you. I'm not sure if this is the adapter for the 454B, but you'll definitely need to get it. The new refrigerant has a different type of hose. You will have to get that because it's reversible. It's not the same thing. And you need to get a key. So some condensers at the service port, they're gonna have some of these locks on it. And where you're trying to remove it, it's just gonna keep spinning and spinning and spinning. You're not gonna be able to remove it. These keys allow you to open up the thing and take the lock right off. So these are like 30, 40 bucks. If not, I think even more expensive. Definitely get this, add it to a keychain. You will definitely need this as a technician. Last but not least, the holy grail right here. When you're checking for a capacitor, you got your microfarad setting. Let's say it's nighttime, boom, turn the light on. Then you got your amp clamp, check amperage, and then you got your volt leads right here to check voltage. You will definitely need this. Have different settings. For example, let's say you want to check a capacitor under load while it's running. Boom, press select, you have amperage and voltage at the same time. Pretty cool stuff. A lot of different settings, ohms, continuity, everything. You can check everything with this. This one has a clamp on it. It's a little bit more pricier, but it's worth it. You definitely want to show up with a multimeter on your first day. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys like the video, subscribe, like it. Let me know if I missed something. This is what I've had since pretty much, not since day one, but it's been adding every week to my collection. Let me know if I need to add something. This is my first company that I've worked for, and any experienced techs out there, you know, let me know in the comments down below if I'm missing something or if I should improve something. But only been doing this for 3-4 months. This is my advice for you guys, what you need for your first day and what you need as a technician. Or if you want, you know, you're coming straight out of not high school, trade school, and you want to, you know, be prepared. These are some of the tools that you might need. So you will need them. So go ahead and like, subscribe. Peace.